Is good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Expert Speak. This is part of the Bank Bazaar series, A to Z of credit cards, where you receive advertising about credit cards, but when you actually get to talk to some industry about how you can use and gain from your credit card. So today I'm really excited to invite Anil Singh. Anil is the country head for credit cards and merchant acquiring at Yes Bank. Prior to that, he ran India's largest co-brand credit card program. And in my view, he's the foremost expert in India today when it comes to co-branded credit cards. So Anil, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Adil. Good to be here.
So, the advantage of having an expert with us, right, is we can actually dive deep. And today we're focusing on everyone's favorite topic, which is credit card rewards. As part of A to Z of credit cards, Bank Bazaar had one full day focused on rewards, what it means and how you can claim. But now let's hear from um, one of the most experienced leaders in this space. Anil, talk to us about rewards. Are there many types of rewards? What are these?
Thanks, Adil. And thanks for this opportunity to interact with the larger community. So, I am looking at rewards as a return that you get, which can come in different forms. Like typically, people recollect rewards as the reward points, and reward points is just one of them. Now, when I'm talking rewards, I am looking at a larger picture of all the benefits that come along with the card, which also includes some of the inbuilt features that comes along with the card. So the most popular one, Adil, these days is conversion of a transaction into EMIs. That in a way it's a reward, right? You don't have to pay everything upfront. You don't have to do the documentation. It is from within the limit. You swipe it, you take your product, and then you immediately convert into EMIs. Some of these EMIs may also be no cost EMIs. Now, this no cost EMI is the real brain of something very innovative happening in India. Very few places would it be. Very few places will it be. A replica of that will be available globally. Uh, Now, within the low cost, it is very important, for us to educate the customer that by law, a credit card company cannot give a no cost EMI. A bank cannot give a no cost EMI. So the no cost EMI, essentially the ones that most of the banks advertise, they would come back and say that they will charge you some interest and they will give it back in the form of some reward, etc. So essentially for the customer, it's a no cost. So the first level is that we should be all aware that in case you buy something hoping it to be a no cost EMI, and then you see that actually there is a cost, you might not you I mean it is not necessarily that you have been fooled around. You can do the maths, you can see what is the interest component, and hence what is the immediate cashback that you are likely to get, and hence essentially it's a no cost EMI. It has benefits for everybody. It's one of the most popular. At least say 20-25% at a customer level would have taken some form or the other of conversion into EMIs. I mean, broadly plus minus across the industry, it will be higher during the festival season, lesser during the rest of the season. So that, in my view, is one of the most attractive features. It gives the power to convert, to buy something instantly. A reasonably high ticket size product can become an impulse purchase item if you have the power of to convert it into EMIs. The second, particularly during the festival season, most of the banks would be tying up with portals like say Flipkart, Amazon, all those most popular websites. And so that there are every customer has three or four different credit cards. Most of the customers, an average customer in India has more than 1.8 credit cards, right? So if a customer has two or three credit cards, there is no harm in doing the proper search and seeing which is the credit card which is giving you the maximum benefit. Is there any offer that is going on live? And hence you can get that offer of a 10%, 5% cashback depending on. And you see a lot of such advertisements. You will see more of it as the festival season comes in. That is the second most important point. The third is the BAU reward points, of course. That is the For every spend, depending on the card category, you know that for every 100 spends, you get some reward points, and every reward point is equal to uh, some benefit, some monetary value associated if you want to redeem. The last category, which is, and I'm not getting into the airport lounge access and other benefits which all of us know. One very attractive thing is the milestone rewards that a lot of players, including your FinBooster card, etc., we will be looking at. The banks make an offer to customer. Every bank monitors, a customer's spending power. They see, and depending on what is the likelihood of the customer moving a spend from a credit card A to a credit card B, they would give milestone targets. So supposing you are a customer and I see that you have a decent amount of purchasing power and you are only utilizing say 5 or 6% or 10% of your credit limit, I would entice you by giving you a target based spend. I will give you a spend based target in a time frame. So this is incremental rewards over and above the normal rewards that you get. So you do a certain amount of spends, and you get a one-time milestone reward. So 1 lakh rupees you do, you get an additional 10,000. Now, one very important point, I mean, and anecdotally, I would want to share. The of the total accrued reward points in every banks of all the banks put together, the one which has accrued because of achieving these milestones, people who are from outside this industry, they do not realize how powerful this is. It would be as high as 15-20% of the total reward points have come because of certain people being certain specific months have been given offers, so that you achieve that spend milestone on that particular card. So all in all, if I have to put a number, maybe around 1.5 to 2% of the spends in different forms, and if you use your spend categories judiciously, that is the kind of cashback, rewards, equivalent, etc., that you can make from the spends that you do, particularly during the festival season. Be in the lookout for attractive offers from everyone, including the FinBooster card. Such offers would be available.
Right. So, Anil, thanks for that fantastic, detailed answer. One of the most detailed explanations I've heard, right? And of how these reward works. Now, let's take 3 minutes to double click into each of these, right? And let's start with the EMI. Now, let's take FinBooster, Bank Bazaar, Yes Bank credit card as an example. And we'll start with a caveat that these offers are dynamic. You should check the offer that's running today by yourself, right? But
Correct.
there is a no cost EMI now running on Amazon on a Samsung Galaxy A54, right? The product cost is 37,500, and the no cost EMI says simply pay the same amount, 37,500 divided by 6 for 6 months, and you can get this no cost EMI. There is a 375 rupee or 1% of the amount as a processing fee. Now, this sounds incredible to me because if I was going to take borrowed money in order to purchase a product for 37,500 over 6 months, one would expect that my interest cost on that would be at least 2,000, 2,500 rupees. And net of the processing fee, it's almost as if I'm gaining 2,000 in terms of interest. Is this the right understanding?
Absolutely. So, I mean, essentially, if I mean, most of them would be a no cost EMI. Genuinely, just that if you read the fine lines, you will realize that it is a no cost EMI. That will be visible in the EDC slip that
True.
comes out. It will be very clear that it's essentially whatever is the value divided by the tenor. That is the monthly EMI that you will end up having paid. One very important thing here is that this is beneficial not only for the customer who is using it, because by the way, the tenor can be as high as 24 months, 28 months. Different banks give, if the ticket size is big, supposing you're buying a big TV costing 50-60,000 and you don't want the EMI to be more than say 2.5, 3,000, the tenor gets increased, and and hence it becomes affordable. Actually, it is a great service to the economy. I mean, you increase the purchasing power of the customer, and thereby increasing the ticket size. That is where your larger point of responsible lending, etc., responsible spend, etc., comes into play. So it is very important that there is a very good benefit of a credit card, particularly because of the reward. However, one needs to use it very judiciously and not go overboard, as would be true for any, any practice.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's double click on what you said. Use the credit card prudently. Don't go beyond your means. Pay your bills back on time, right? Now, let's
Absolutely.
just talk about no cost EMI further because I find that even though so much money has been spent by banks in India to educate consumers, people usually think of no cost EMI. And see, you're a Bajaj veteran. That was your former organization before you became the country head at Yes Bank. Also, people know of BNPL, right? In the West, BNPL is very popular. How did credit card in India build BNPL or no cost EMI as a feature available to every single credit card user? How did this innovation uniquely happen in India when it's not happened in the US?
So you did mention about a large organization in the FMCG segment, which are the market leaders in this space, and there are many more who have tried to copy it, and they are doing it successfully as well. See, somebody, design principles, somebody has to bear the cost, right? So so if you make somebody, generally public are very clear that there's no free lunch. I mean, everybody knows it. And hence, if you say that this is a no cost EMI, many people don't believe it. Uh, Now, and it is very important for us to clarify that nobody is doing charity. So somebody has to bear the cost. If that question is answered, that brings genuinity to this entire deal. Now, usually the no cost EMI, somebody who bears the cost of this entire transaction is the person who is selling the product, right? So if you are selling a 20,000 rupees product, uh, you know, the customer can probably upgrade because of your no cost EMI options, and you will be able to sell a 30,000 rupees product instead of a 20,000. For doing this kind of a deal, the manufacturers of the TV or whatever, they would be willing to forego maybe 2%, 3% of the MRP, and that is what funds that entire ecosystem. So I wanted to make it very clear because a lot of people don't understand who pays for it. I mean, no cost EMI, somebody has to pay. That is the manufacturers. Whosoever is wanting to sell that product, he takes that cost. So that is essentially the point that I wanted to clarify
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, brilliant point. So basically, you're saying it's a win-win because the consumer is not paying extra. It's a genuine
Yeah,
no-cost EMI. The
yeah,
manufacturer is selling a larger product because they're able to offer this as a feature, and they're
yeah.
willing to bear the cost. So I think it's a
Correct,
brilliant
correct.
product design. Credit to I think all the leaders in the credit card industry, such as yourself, who built this tremendous innovation for Indian consumers. I frankly believe that this is the big delta, right? In the Indian credit cards, which makes them a must-have in a consumer's wallet. Now let's quickly shift gears, right? We said 3 minutes, but no cost
Yeah,
EMI
yeah,
is so exciting. We spoke for
yeah,
10 minutes, so 3 minutes now, genuinely. All right, let's
yeah.
talk about these time-bound discounts. So right now on Yes Bank, Bank Bazaar, FinBooster, co-branded credit card, there's a time-bound discount uh, um, up to 21st October on Flipkart. It's a 10% discount up to 2000 rupees on categories excluding groceries. Now I'll simplify this and please check the T's and C's. I'll simplify it. Minimum value of mobile 5000 rupees. You can make on a non EMI purchase a 1500 discount. Now this is a good offer. You're literally getting 30%
30%.
off, but on specific products within a time window. I'm shifting gears because I know I don't want to zone in and only focus on one offer.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
IBIBO up to 31st October. 12% discount on domestic ticket, 12% on domestic flight, up to 1,500, no minimum. So there's some common elements, Anil. One, there's a time window, 5 days, 10 days. Second, right, it varies depending on categories. Is it mobile? Is it groceries? Is it hotel? And then it says sometimes there's a minimum, sometimes no minimum. So just talk me through these one-time discounts and how one can make best use of it.
So the best way, I mean, there are some people who are, deal-seeking customers, right? So I would encourage them to constantly don't. You go through the SMSs that you get, the emails that you get from all, from the bank. If you are on app, you should look out for the notifications. Be in the lookout for the communication of certain deals, because these are time bound, right? And the time bound deals usually would be very attractive. It will come for some 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. It will come for a specific product. So it will, there is a, and usually it will come either in a very off season when the bank would want to get some extra spends, or it will come during the peak season where you are studying for market share. So the key to success here as a customer is be look out for each one, look at the fine prints, and then pick your deal.
Makes sense. So, Yes Bank sends emails, right? Bank Bazaar sends communication. Just stay on top of it, because the point to note is these are time bound offers. Both
Yeah,
the offers I called out, one is up to 21st October on Flipkart, one is up to 31st October on GoIBibo. So you have to keep watching.
yeah,
Okay, now let's come to the third, right? Now, clearly, I get reward points. And if you look at the FinBooster, Bank Bazaar, Yes Bank card, it gives accelerated 5 points for 100 rupees on online dining, accelerated, 3 points for online groceries, online apparel, and 1 point for other spends. Now, I go to yesrewards.com and I see a bunch of offers, right? Just talk me through what are these bunch of offers, and how do I choose between just converting this into an Amazon gift voucher, or converting this into a flight, or converting this into a hotel room? How should I think about it, Anil?
so it all depends. Adil, so very, very important point, and I often find people very confused in this. So there are a set of customers who go purely by, say, convenience, right? Now, most of the banks, including Yes Bank, or some of the banks, including Yes Bank, give the option to you to make the payment, to redeem your reward points against the outstanding, right? So if your outstanding is, say, 1,000 rupees and you have 100 rupees worth of reward points, you can click and you can say settle. I'm just giving a very simple example. That is one of the most preferred usages by customers. Now, this is one extreme. The other extreme could be customers who are value seeking. So you go and redeem your reward points on those portals where the value of the reward is very high. Now, typically, in the case of Yes Bank FinBooster, the value of the reward point will be highest if you convert your reward points into air miles. That is where you are likely to get the highest redemption. So every in the reward portal, that's also a shopping area. You should look at where where you are getting maximum rewards. Also, you should not end up, say, for example, buying a voucher of a product which you don't intend to buy. Right? Some people make that mistake. So one has to have a choice of the convenience, ease of redemption, the value of the reward point redeemed, and the voucher or the product that is being bought. That should be something that the customer genuinely wants. So if somebody does not travel very regularly, what is the point in converting it into air miles, right? So similarly, you are very regular on Amazon. It is better to convert your reward points into Amazon voucher rather than making the payments of your credit card. So one has to be very slightly more astute and look for the deals within that portal.
Got it. Got it. So a plug for our product, right? I really like FinBooster because it accelerates rewards on online dining. Today,
Yeah,
online dining is very common, right? So every Friday, my wife and I order in, and it just becomes so convenient because I'm getting the 5x accelerated reward.
yeah,
Now, for
yeah.
my 20,000 points, right, I saw the following: convert this to pay your bills for 2000 rupees, convert this to get an Amazon gift voucher of 2000 rupees, or very interestingly, like you said, fly to Chennai using these 20,000 points. And the value of that on travel, I found to be very high.
Correct.
I also saw, that this accidental death benefit is a very cool benefit. So this is coming with the co-branded FinBooster card, saying 2.5 lakh. I think it's always good to have this in the worst case scenario, right, Anil?
Yeah, yeah. So these are all built in because because we technically, if say, let us look at FinBooster, we have, say, 1.5 lakh customers in the co-brand. Now it is like we are negotiating on behalf of the 1.5 lakh customers and going to an insurance company. Obviously, we'll get a very good deal, and because it's a deal at a mass scale, usually you built in as one of the features and take that cost. That's the way we have designed this product, keeping in mind those unfortunate instances which may come to anybody's life.
Got it.
And we have in our last 3-4 years we have seen unfortunate cases where people have been able to take benefit out of it.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, in the unfortunate case that it happens, you're saying that you've seen
Yeah,
claims. I understand. Okay. Now, I think we're at the 20-minute mark, so we're going to change
yeah,
gears a little bit, right? So we really went, I think, in my mind, one of the deepest discussions with an industry expert on credit card reward. We went through multiple categories, right? Starting from the no-cost EMI to the time-bound discount, to the reward points classic, to the lounge access. But I think the pro tip you put out there was the milestone. So just give me an example, right? So if I'm a user and we're in the festival season, this is the pro tip I think very few people in the market know, right? Just give us one live example so that people don't miss this pro tip from this discussion.
okay, fair. So, as I said, some banks, including the Yes Bank FinBooster, has this program. So you be in the watch out for such offers if you are part of that selected list of customers who get this offer. Now, supposing I look at your Adil, I look at your spends pattern, and I find that you have a very high loans going, etc., and I assume that you have a decent purchasing power. However, I find that there is hardly any spend that you do on my card, right? So I, as a bank, would tend to assume that probably you have I mean, you intend to spend, but that spend is not coming to us. Now, if I have to request a customer to bring a spend from a card B to say FinBooster card, I have to entice the customer by giving him an offer. So I would encourage the customers to be in the lookout for such offers, particularly during the festival season. So if I see that you are spending 10,000, probably I will give you an offer of 25,000, right? Because I know that you are likely to spend 25, you are doing that spend somewhere else. All that you have to do is that instead of using the other card, you use this card, and on reaching, so if you do 24,999, you get the BAU rewards, right? So that one incremental reward, one incremental spends rupee will give you not only the BAU spends reward points, but also an incremental, maybe a 3 4 5,000 depending on the deal. Now this is something which is very common, and I did mention in my earlier talk that of all the reward points accumulated, roughly around 15% of the reward points would have accrued because of the milestone related reward points that have come in. So it's a very,
Fantastic.
very, yeah, not many people are aware of this.
Not many people are aware. This is a real pro tip. 15% of points out there are milestone points. Please watch out for that. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to the next topic, Anil. So, see, when we talk about FinBooster credit card, we also want people to increase their credit score. So, you brought up this topic earlier saying use the card prudently, improve your credit score. It's not about just spending. It's about spending prudently such that you improve your credit score using the credit card so you can access a home loan and a business loan later. Talk to us about why credit score has become so important in India today.
So I think Adil, I mean, more than me, you are a better expert to talk about this, right? So very recently, you also talked about I was listening to one of your podcasts or somewhere I heard you say that if you delay one payment, your CIBIL score can fall from a 800 to 700. And what is the net impact that it can have if you want to buy a home loan at that point in time? I think that example is a very clear cut. See, I mean, everywhere, having a good CIBIL score is something that is, I mean, it's a must have. It's a expression of one's discipline. If you want to join a bank, for example, on a job, and you have a poor score, you are not likely to get a job, right? So everywhere, and as and when people start doing it, more and more use cases will come in. However, the larger point where I find people in the tier 2, tier 3, etc. locations, if you don't need a personal loan, how do you build your CIBIL score, right? Because personal loan is not an impulse purchase. You need the money, only then you will be willing to bear the cost of interest and then use it, right? However, if you take a credit card and do some BAU utility, etc. spends, which doesn't cost you anything, and you pay on time, a person who does not have a CIBIL score gets to create a CIBIL score. Now, across the globally, if you look at it, India would be maybe a 10, 15 years, or maybe not 10, 15 years these days. It's maybe a 7, 8 years behind in terms of the credit culture globally. Uh, Everywhere, having a CIBIL score, a CIBIL score equivalent, is a must to get a loan at a good rate. If you don't have one, it is better to create one. And the best one to create, the best way to create, the most cost effective way to create is by taking a credit card and ensuring that you don't utilize a substantial portion of uh, that credit limit. So we all know that one of the most important weightages that goes into a CIBIL score is also off the limit what percentage of it is utilized. So if I have to advise somebody, I said take a credit card of 1 lakh, spend only 5,000 rupees. Do that for 3-4 months. You will see much better than having a credit card with a 1 lakh and ending up spending 80,000 rupees. So, and if you actually have a spend of 80,000, might as well take 2 or 3 credit cards and distribute it. That way, it will come out to be in the eyes of the scorecard. You are likely to get a much better response. So similarly, and there are enough and more like organizations like yours educate the customers on how to do it, what are the best practices. And today, there are many ways in which you can get your CIBIL score, including you by paying to them and getting it. Some of the players actually give it free of cost to the customers. I think that's a great service that some of the fintech players like yours are playing into.
Thanks, Anil. So again, a few pro tips, right? Let me just capture it for the users. So firstly, credit card is the only credit product where without paying interest, if you use it, only product without paying interest, you can build a credit score. All other products are not impulse purchases and you have to pay an interest outflow. The second thing is you're saying if you have a 1 lakh card and you use the limit less, and if you have multiple cards, spread the limit, that will increase your score faster if you're looking to
Absolutely.
build a good score, correct?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Correct.
always, it's always said never close your oldest credit card. So I think that's again something we advise, correct?
Correct, right, absolutely. So one of the weightages, so if some of the people who are listening, if they have ever taken a CIBIL report, in fact, they do mention what are the different parameters that have gone into. One of them is the oldest credit card vintage. Now that very clearly demonstrates that the customer is not only having a good clean record, he has been having it over a period of time. That has a very high weightage, right? So if you have a credit card which is say 15 years old and has a clean record, of course, and another card which has maybe 6 months record, the 6 months is, I mean, the weightage, the genuinity that it establishes is much lesser. So it plays out that way very well.
Great tip. Great tip.
Yeah,
Now, let's move to the last topic in the interest of time. We're down to the last few minutes
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Now, co-branded cards have become very popular, Anil, and you have great experience building successful co-brands. Why is this happening? We had a senior executive from Visa who came on this show and said that 1 in 3 cards today is co-brand. What is making this industry tick, Anil?
That's a thing that I have been seeing happening over the last maybe 7-8 years. 2004-5, there were very few co-brands, right? And those co-brands, the nature of the co-brands were very simple. Somebody acquires and that's it. They just on the card plastic there was a name. Over a period of time, with the fintechs coming in, more and more engaged customers, more digital journeys, you have large fintech partners who have a very, very substantial engagement with the customer. So the customer has a, say, for example, a Bank Bazaar. There are certain customers who are regular customer of Bank Bazaar who are not customers of Yes Bank, right? Now, for me, I have very limited means of reaching this customer as a bank. If I go, I will go through some DSA or pay some money to get this customer. If the customer is routed through you, it becomes that much more seamless. I get this customer back on your portal. We give more benefits to the customer. Uh, we use that your channels, your apps, etc., to communicate more with the customer using the app, conversion into EMI. That much more simpler. So essentially, if you look at it, one of the first reasons why co-brands are getting success is because every bank has now, we are now 9 crore cards in the market, right? Now every customer, every bank has got the low hanging fruits, the genuine ones, I mean the interested ones, they have been given cards. So everybody is dependent on a new saving account or salary account getting opened and then you give a credit card. Banks are using this as an opportunity for two things. Number one, getting customer engaged, because instead of saying a normal reward points, etc., you have something, the partner also brings engagement and adds sometimes to the reward points. The second thing on the co-brands is that you get to meet, acquire, contact a customer who is not otherwise as a part of the bank's franchise. That way, it becomes very attractive for the bank as well, because if the customer has done a KYC, he has become a bank customer, it is likely that he might take some of the other products of the bank as well, and over a period of time there will be more engagement and hence more spend. So I think co-brands has both the intentions: A, engagement; B is the ease of the customer to get onboarded. I think these would, in my view, be the most important things.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think the key, like you said, you hit the nail on the head with the insight on engagement. I think partners, fintechs are able to engage their consumers. So in our case, with the Credit Strong advisor telling you how to track and improve your credit score every month, right? That
Yeah,
really gives us a understanding and engagement with the consumer. I think Anil, we are out of time.
yeah,
This has been
yeah,
a fabulous discussion because I think we
abs-
really rolled up our sleeves and
yeah.
got our hands dirty on the type of rewards. I hope the material that comes out of this, right, is very, very helpful to many, many people out there as they think about not only the festival season, but managing their personal finance in 2024. Thank you for sharing so candidly, so transparently, the great expertise that you have, Anil. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adil, and it was pleasure speaking to you and your team. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.